Hey guys, this is Poohead189, and today we're going to do a little experiment. Now, this isn't really a very learning video, but I feel like it's a video that'd be kind of fun for me to make, and it's pretty meme-worthy. But also, I think there is an important message in here, which is, if you talk about a fictional series, especially if it's been out for a while, it's really easy to see what the heroes should do. And they always seem really stupid to you because you are able to think about these problems sitting in your comfortable chair with your drink and not having to actually deal with the stress of the situation. This is something I remind my friends all the time. We've been debating Dragon Ball for like 15, going on 16 years now. And like all throughout our time talking together, whenever someone has brought up, like, I think generally Krillin would be the one to bring stuff up like this, to be like, why don't they just fucking do this? Why is this, like, why are they being idiots right now? And usually I'm just like, well, I mean, you didn't think about it for the first 11 years that we've talked about this extensively, so how could they bring that up at the exact moment it was happening? So people tend to have this sort of conceit that everything would be so easy if they were the ones doing it and not the characters, and everything seems so simple. And honestly, I feel like that's a huge sort of fallacy for humans to have, because honestly, all of our lives, if you are living right now in a first, even a second world country, most of your shit is not very complicated. In fact, even if you're living in a third world country, your shit's not really complicated. You need a better job. You need to call this person to get this job. You want a girlfriend. You need to go out and do things to get a girlfriend. You want a sandwich. You need to go make the sandwich. Like, it's easy to see what you need to do. It's much harder to do it, and it's much harder to get it out of your head to where you can form the thoughts in order to make yourself do it, right? Because, like, our heads are swimming all the time with useless information and useless anxiety and fretting on things that do not matter, and we just lose track of what is truly important or what is something that would be logical to do in order to get our goals to occur. I am a huge victim of that in my life. I have the goals to write a novel. I have goals to, talk about different lore about other series that aren't Dragon Ball. I want to get a new job, and I need more money, and while I'm working hard on all of that, at the same time, I also slack on it because, things get in the way and I bullshit about things. So we are all in that. We all have these problems. And so I thought that since people do that about Dragon Ball characters all the time, I mean, I was thinking, like, what would I have done if I was in Krillins Shoes and I was there? Because, like, obviously, if I am Vegeta, even if I like fighting, and I do, I'm a martial artist, and I love working out, I love combat, I love writing about it in my novels, I'm a huge, in fact, I think I like action and combat as much as anyone actually can. But I also know that if I was in Vegeta's shoes, that, of course, I would just destroy Cell there, and then later on I would, fight other people with less stakes. It's easy to see what a logical person would do with Vegeta. And I think even if I had Saiyan genes, I'd be able to do that. Krillin, though, is more complicated. Now, that's not to say that we can't logically see what Krillin should do anyway, but I'm thinking, like, if I'm gonna step into this role as Krillin, and I am given this remote, and I am there, how easy or difficult would it be for me to push this button? Now, we gotta think back, though, to Krillin's sort of first experience with the androids. Let me put myself in Krillin's shoes real quick. Okay, you got me, Poohead, I'm on the side of the road. Generally, I love a good fight if, obviously I don't like hurting people, but, like, I'm big on sparring, I'm big on stuff like that. Usually I enjoy it. I'm watching the lads, all my friends, getting the shit kicked out of them by a brother and a sister. they are just losing so hard. All my friends are losing it. I'm watching this going down. And I want to help, but I also can tell that this brother and sister could bench 18-wheeler trucks. So I also know that I got no chance in hell of helping them at all. The best thing I can hope for is to go down there and have my neck snapped as well. Now, I do want to say before I continue that I do think that if I was in Krillins' shoes, I probably would have jumped down there to help my friends anyway. But for this analogy, let's just say I don't jump in immediately and I already see that I'm no match for them and I don't help out. So I'm watching all this happening. After it happens, the brother is still down there, but the sister comes up to me and she's smoking. Like 1 out of 10, she's a fucking 12, dude. She's got great fashion sense. And then she starts flirting with me. She has Dave's blood on her knuckles, but she starts flirting with me. And then she kisses me on the cheek. And I'm like, what is going on here? And I'll be real, I'll be real. I'd be a little conflicted, I'd be like, all right, well, I can't really fuck with her because she just beat the shit out of my homies. But at the same time, I can, I don't want to, come on. She's flirting with me. I can't, but I'm not going to reciprocate though. But it makes it difficult. It makes it difficult, right? And I also know if I swing at her, then, she's gonna, snap my neck in two. So I can't really do that either. So I'm just gonna be like, all right, see ya. Thanks for not killing any of us. And then she leaves. And then later on, a bunch of things occur. And then I get back, and then I see, one of my same friends, he is about to let the world go down. That's probably one reason why I didn't really help out earlier, is because the world's going to blow up and it's partially his fault. And then I have this button and I'm told I need to kill this person that has done nothing wrong except beat up my friends who started the fight. Let's bring that up. They kind of started the fight. But she's essentially blameless, and I am now 20 meters away from her. I got this button. I need to get a little bit closer, but then I can end this and I can end the threat forever. I'm trying to think, if I'm Krillin, or if I'm in Krillin's shoes, and I get closer, and then, I see her and she's looking at what's going on with fear in her eyes. I can tell not only is this woman blameless, but this woman is afraid for her life. And she also just went through a traumatic experience because her brother is now effectively dead. He's not really dead, but you know what I mean. She's lost her brother. And that would be difficult, Taking away how hot she is, that would just be difficult, I think. Because, I think I would do it. I know I would do it. I would have to do it because unfortunately, it's for the greater good. But I also know that if I am doing this, even if it is the right thing to do, I know that later I would be filled with regret and remorse and depression for killing an innocent woman. And it would also bring weird feelings because this innocent woman was interested in me for some reason after she kicked the shit out of my friends. And then I see this fear, this real fear in her eyes. And then I'm like, this is going to suck. This would really suck to kill her. Now, I think Krillin would do the opposite of me. He would, he did do the opposite of me. He didn't destroy her. In fact, he just broke the remote. It's hard to say why Krillin showed himself too. I guess to showcase to her that, he was there to help her even though. But I think I would have to, I know I would push that button. And I know I would then have to kill her. But at the same time, I would really hate that. Take away all the jokes, all the flirting, all the whatever. I think killing anyone, especially someone that hasn't really attacked you and that actively spared your friends when they started a fight, I would feel like such a villain, you know? Even if it was the right thing to do, even if it led to saving the world, there would be real trauma there, or at least real remorse. If I'm like Krillin and I've been around a bunch of dead people, and I've been in combat for the world before, maybe not trauma, but at the same time, it would be hard. So I can truly empathize with Krillin, even if I would have made a different decision than him. And I think people don't really get that. They don't really empathize with how Krillin felt at that moment, beyond the meme-tastic horniness. He just, it's a difficult thing to do, I think, especially for someone who is morally good like Krillin, and someone who has a conscience. Because, I don't know if I'm some paragon, but I do have a conscience, and that would suck. So yeah, I think it'd be fairly hard to do. Not to mention how much danger I would be in to do it, I mean, after shutting her off, this guy that could beat up her and her brother after they could beat up all my friends, and he's Android 16, he's sitting there, and he's damaged, but, he could probably still, snap my neck too. So I would still do it, though, regardless of that as well, because I think, my life is not very valuable in the face of the world. But at the same time, it would be harrowing, certainly. So I think people do judge Krillin a bit harshly for that. Even though, like I said in my previous video, Krillin is right up there in blame, right below Vegeta and Android 17. But I do think that the reason why he is below is because, I have a conscience and I can be understanding to his plight. So I think that is something that people should consider. Anyway, I thought this would be, a video, slightly thought-provoking, but mostly memey, just to talk about. Anyway, though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. All the links to my Discord and social media are below, and have a great day. See you, everybody. Bye-bye.